So this is just a dependent and independent conditions for the linearly dependent and independent functions if it is there, and we were doing with the basis. This is a section 5.4, and already we have done with these. Okay, so what we have done is, in the previous example it was given that you are given with a set of vectors, and you need to check whether you need to check what will be the v1, v2, v3 is given in the preceding example. So let us go back. One example we'll take from the yesterday's class. You need to show that it is a basis. This is a v1, v2, v3 is a basis for R3. So there should be two conditions. The first condition says that these vectors, whatever you have, they should be linearly independent. Okay. And second condition is that you have to these should be the linearly independent set, and second condition is that uh, so for linearly independent, mathematically how can you write? This is for LID. Linear combination should be equal to 0 only for 0 values of C1, C2, C3. Only for 0 values of C1, C2, C3. Okay. So this is your homogeneous equation. This is giving you the homogeneous equation. And second condition says that any vector you take from R3. Okay. You take any vector from R3 and that should be written as a linear combination of C1, C2, C3. Sorry, V1, V2, V3. So it means let us take a vector B which belongs to R3, and it will means what are the conditions that the vector belongs to R3? It should have 3 components and all the components should be real. So that is how we can write any vector in R3. So let B be the vector in R3. Okay. Then if you are writing the linear combination of C1 V1, it should be written as linear combination, right? So it will be C1 V1 plus C2 V2 plus C2 V2, okay, plus C3 V3. These are the conditions. Okay, so for these conditions, we have clubbed it in the terms of determinant, and I told you why it is being clubbed, because the left side, whatever the elements you have, those elements those rows should or the rank of the augmented matrix and the rank of A should be equal. Okay, if it is unequal, then the rank of augmented matrix should not be greater than the rank of A. Otherwise it will give you the condition for no solution. Okay, so based on these two requirements, we have just clubbed the conditions and we made it to the determinant. So based on that, what we got the first condition written like this. Now the next question, this is done. So we checked that the determinant is not 0. So we got this to be the basis. Second question says, this is second bit. They are asking you to find out the coordinate vector. Coordinate vector for 5, -1, 9. It means what we have to do is, we have to find out C1, C2, C3. That is what they are telling. You need to find out C1, C2, C3. Okay. So for that C1, C2, C3, yeah, here what are these C1, C2, C3? These are the C1, C2, C3. Okay, so we need to find out C1, C2, C3 as a coefficient. It means that 1 minute. These are the coordinates with respect to the basis S, whatever the S basis is given, which is a vectors in which is a basis in V1, V2, V3 are the elements in the S set. So we have to find out the coordinates. So what we did is we just expanded the vector V 5 - 1 9 in the terms of linear combination of C1 V1 plus C2 V2 plus C3 V3. So we substituted V1, V2, V3 and we got an equation again in the terms of unknowns. So C1, C2, C3 are known as the coordinates of vector V related to the basis S. Okay. So that you have to find out. So just finding out the C1, C2, C3 is the question here. Second question says that find a vector V when you know the basis vector, means I know V1, V2, V3 and I know C1, C2, C3 because they have given -1, 3, 2 as a coordinates. So just make a substitution here. When you will multiply and add, you will get a vector V. So that is what you have done here for this particular question. Next question is in the similar way we have done. It's a solved thing. Now for Pn also we have discussed. For this is the standard basis for Pn, polynomial in n, 1x x square raised to power x raised to power n. You should remember this. This is also the standard basis for Mn. So you have M1, M2, M3, M4, M1, M2, M3, M4. All these are the this is the basis for the vector space M22 of 2 cross 2 matrix. Okay, and to see that S spans M22, note that the arbitrary vector matrix A, B, C, D can be written as any vector you can write. They are linearly independent, we know already. It's a linearly independent because you just checked independency and tell me this M1, M2, M3, whether they are linearly independent or not. Quickly you check all of you and tell me whether they are linearly independent or not. I'll give you 1 minute time. No answers till now. M1, M2, M3, M4, are they linearly independent? C1, M1 plus C2, M2 plus C3, M3 plus C4, M4 is equal to a 0 matrix. 0, 0, 0, 0. What are the values of C1, C2, C3 you are getting? You can see very easily here also it is mentioned. Just see that. A, B, C, D can be treated as C1, C2, C3, C4. We are getting all those as 0. I am not getting any response.
Yes, ma'am, they are linearly independent.
Oh, yes, ma'am. It's really.
It is independent. So it will span also. Take any element in M22, A, B, C, D. That can be written as a linear combination. So only thing is that whenever you are saying that it is a standard basis, then the coordinates will be its entries. Whatever the coordinates you have, that will be the entries only. Like C1 is A, C2 is B, C3 is C, and C4 is D. So that you can see, correct? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Let us come to this result. S is a set where V1, V2, Vn is a linearly independent set. Then S is a basis for the subspace of span S. And since the set S span S by the definition. So S is a linearly independent set in a vector space V. Then S is a basis for, you have to write down this result, basis for the subspace span S. S will be the basis for subspace span S. So what will be the span of S? In a span of S, Every element, every linear combinations of V1 to Vn will lie. So if this is a set, then this will be the basis for span S. That is what the result says. So which type of element will be there in the span S? All linear combinations. Write it down. Got it? Written? Okay. Read this, then I will ask you quickly. Hello? Done? Are you people talking? I cannot hear anyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. For finite dimensional, very simple concept. Maybe I don't know what in what terms you have defined, but you just clarify whether my explanation and your thinking is matching or not. What I said is finite dimensional. If you say for any set or non-zero vectors V, it is V vector space actually is it is called a finite dimensional only if it has a finite set of vectors. Okay, that forms a basis. In a basis, if it has a finite set of vectors, then it will be finite dimensional. And infinite dimensional means if no such V exists, it is V is infinite dimensional. If you don't have any such set or a basis where you have a finite set of vectors, then it will be infinite dimensional. So zero vector space is it is called as an finite dimensional because it is going to have a basis with a limited number of elements. Okay. Now Rn, Pn, Mn, these are the finite dimensional. Whereas if you define minus infinity function from minus infinity to plus infinity, complex space from minus infinity to plus infinity, c raised power m, c raised power infinity, these are all the infinite dimensional. Okay, where the possibilities are there for a basis to be defined as an minus infinity to plus infinity sets in the basis. Okay, basis can have infinite elements in it. Correct. So that is how the concept of finite dimensional is. You have to count just the number of elements in the basis, and then you have to say whether it is a finite dimensional or infinite dimensional. Okay. Next is theorem. You have a set. You have a set V, which is a finite dimensional vector space. This theorem is also very important. Please note it down. Set is finite dimensional vector space. Here you have a result. You have to memorize. Understanding all the results. It's good, but along with that, you have to memorize the result. That when the time comes, you should know that, and you should be able to implement it. So that is possible only through understanding and that to memorizing the result. If you will forget, you will not be able to. So V is finite dimensional vector space, and V1, V2, so on. Vn is any basis here. It is any basis here. If a set has more than n vector, then it is linearly dependent. Okay. If a set has fewer than n vector, then it does not span V. There are two conclusions which are drawn from this particular set. You have any V as a vector space, okay, for which the set of vectors V1, V2, so on, Vn is a basis. It means what? This set actually will span V, and it will also it is a linearly independent. Okay, so it will span V and it will be LID also. That is what it is telling. LID also. Then only it is a basis, right? Next, it is saying that if a set has more than n vectors, you are taking any other set in a V which has elements more than n vector, then it will be linearly dependent, and you know the reason why. If it has, this result was already done in the previous class. What I am talking about is if I have more than n vectors, I have n plus 1 vector. Suppose I have a set where I have n plus 1 vectors. Okay, so what we have to do now? We have to write those that particular vector as a linear combination of this. So here too you have only n vector, and there you have n plus 1 components. So what we are going to get then? We are going to get linearly dependent situation there, because you will get less number of equations and more number of unknowns. We already have seen this case where you have less number of equations and more unknowns are there, then it is going to be dependent. Same here, if you have less than n vector, then it will not span V. Okay, if the set has less than n vector, then it will not be then it is not it does not span V. Okay, so you have to remember this result. We have a questions onto this. All bases for a finite dimensional vector space have the same number of vectors. All bases in the finite dimensional have a same set of vectors. Okay. Let's come to the dimension. How to calculate the dimension of a vector space? For the dimension, what we have to do is, for the dimension, we have to find out the finite dimensional vector space V. Okay, and the number of vectors in a basis will give you the dimension. Suppose I have Rn as a space. In Rn, I know n vectors will be there. So dimension will be n in a basis. In a basis of Rn, in a basis of R2, how many elements are there? 1, 0 and 0, 1. That is standard basis, correct? You need to count that. Whereas 0 vector space will have only one dimension will be 0. It doesn't have any vector. Okay, then you, for the R2 space, you have 1, 0 and 0. Two vectors are there, 1, 0 and 0, 1 in R2. So the dimension will be 2. Same in R3, R4, Rn. You will have n vectors, so dimension will be n. That's what they are telling. It's a standard basis. Related to the standard basis they are writing. So standard basis of R2 will have only two vectors, I and j. For R3, you will have ijk, and then later on the dimensions cannot be presented onto the board. So we can imagine and write, that is called as an Euclidean space. So we have here dimension of Rn as, which is n Euclidean space. It's nothing but the n vector, dimension is n. So standard basis has n vectors. Same here for Pn. Pn will have, along with our x comma x square comma, along with these all vectors, it will have in 1 also, x raised to the power 0. It is starting from 0. So the Pn will have n plus 1 elements. Then you check for M22 matrix. Just now we saw, no, standard basis will have on how many elements? 4 elements will be there. So it is a product of 2 into 2. So for the basis, standard basis will have mn vector. That is the reason the dimension is m into n. Okay, so this also you have to understand, and then you have to memorize also these results. Okay, next is, now you have to find out, we are given with a system of equation here. System of equations are given, and we are actually asked to find out the basis and the dimension. So how we can find out the basis and the dimension here? Yeah, these are the equations, system of equations. You are asked to find out the dimension, basis and the dimension of the solution space. So of the homogeneous system. Did I explain to you what is solution space? Can anyone tell me? Yes, quickly. What is the solution space? I already told. Yes, can you tell
Ma'am,
me?
the vector x that satisfies the equation.
Little loud, please.
I wrote the definition. If Ax is equal to B is a system of linear equations, then the vector x which satisfies these equations, it is called as a solution vector of the system.
Yes, all elements of x which satisfies that particular system of equation will be called a, or create a solution space. Okay, so same here we are going to do now. We have just the terminologies are taken from the linear algebra, but the mathematical thing what we have done is the same thing we have to do here. We have to ultimately, in simple thing, we have to just solve the system of equation which looks to be homogeneous. And I will just looking at, I will say that yes, we are going to get dependent. You know why? Because unknowns are 5 and equations are 4. So already it is defined that rank not be greater than 4 and unknowns are 5. So parametric solution will come, but how many parametric solution will come, that we have to judge. Because sometimes it is possible that whatever the system is given, the rank can be reduced here. And sometimes it is not. So they are telling you to find out the basis and they are telling you to find out the dimension. So dimension is nothing but the number of vectors in the basis. You have to find out basis. Now how to find out a basis for solution space? See, that's what we have done, that same thing. The only thing is that you should know that what you have to do. So basis for solution space means that first you find out solution space. First you find out solution space means you have to find out x1. You have to find out x2. You have to find out x3. And you have to find out x4. And you have to find out x5. Okay, all these 5 vectors you need to find out. Okay, so in this case, what we have to do is all these 5 vectors when you are going to find out, then for solution space you have to find out the basis. So what represents the basis for solution space is, first you find out what will be your x1, x2, it's going to be parametric solution. and represent all the solution space in the terms of S and T. Here two parametric solution is appearing. So let me check. First we will write a basis here. Sorry, first we will write a coefficient matrix here. So A is given to you as, just write down the coefficient matrix quickly. I hope people would have started this. 2, 2, -1, 0, and I have 1. Same I have here -1, 1, 2, -3, and 1. Then I have 1, 1, -2, 0, and I have -1. Then I have 0, 0, 0, 0, and I have 1, 1, 1. So this is my matrix. Now I have to eliminate the first column, all other elements except 1. So first I will implement the interchange. So instead of implementing interchange, I am just suggesting you can interchange the row. You can interchange this row. Okay, and you can interchange this row. So I am this row. This is my pivot row, the pink color one. Okay, I'm just doing the pivot row here. So what I'm going to do next is I will use this as a pivot trying to reduce all other, whereas the entries of the pink row will be as it is. So I have the third row as 1, -2, -1. This is my third row entry. And the other row entries will be, this will be reduced to 0 if it is multiplied with -2 and added. So this will be multiplied with -2 and added. This will be 0. Multiplied with -2 will give you 4. -1 will give you 3. Multiplied with -2 will give you 6. Multiplied with -2 will give you -2 plus 1, -1. Am I right? Am I right here? My first rows are what entries I wrote for the transformation are 1 tends to 2 R2, 2 R3. R1 is 2 R or R1 tends to R3 minus 2 R1. 2 R3 minus R1. Am I right? 2 R3 minus R1. No, not R3 minus R1. It is minus 2 R3 minus 2 R3 plus R1. Is this right? It must be, na? 2 R1. This is nothing but R1 tends to. Yes. Can anyone confirm quickly? 10-10 now it is. Second is as it is add 0, 2, 0, -3. Is this a class? Are you people studying? Not studying, right? I'm not getting any response here. So this is now use the another row. This is being used already. You cannot use this row again. So take the another pivot row. So all other elements are 0 here. You need not use this. Take the another pivot row. Multiply with -3 and add. Can we further reduce the rank? But why it is showing two parametric solution? Rank is not 3. Whether anything wrong here? 2, 2, minus 1, 0, 5, 5, minus 1, 1, 2,
Ma'am,
minus 3, 1, 1, 1,
actually in the
minus
first
2,
row,
0, minus 1, 0, 0, 1. Haan, tell me.
actually in the first row, third element should be 8, I guess.
I'm not able to hear you. Speak loudly.
In the first row,
1
third
minute.
element should be 8.
Yeah, tell me now.
In the first row, third element should be 8, I guess.
In the first row, third element.
After the row operation now.
What it is? Multiply
8.
with minus 3 and add minus 2 and add 3 will come na here. Multiply with minus 2 and add. This will be 0 only, correct?
Yeah, yes, ma'am, it's 3. Sorry, I thought it was
Multiply
4.
with minus 2 and add. Minus 2 and add. Correct, no? 3 is
Yes, ma'am, it's
0,
correct.
3, right? Okay, now 3 is 0. Can we reduce the rank? Yes. Can the rank be reduced further? Or is there anything, because here it is showing two parametric solutions, so it means rank should be 3. Is the rank 3?
Not coming 3, ma'am.
Hmm?
It is not coming 3.
It's not coming.
Not coming, ma'am.
Rank is not 3. Okay. So let us solve it for now. We'll see that what is wrong in this directly. But let us implement one more transformation. Transformation is now R1. I'm using R1 as a pivot row, and I'm trying to eliminate the other two.
We can do R1 minus R3, right?
R1 by 3. R1 by 3 first we will do. So I can reduce the entries here. I will write with I'll write with orange pen. So my entries will be, instead of 3, it will become 1. Here also and here also, correct? After this transformation. Then I can implement the another after the transformation. I'll say R4 tends to R4 minus R1. Correct? R4 minus R1. Now we'll see what made them to take the two parameters. So after implementing R4 minus R1, we got it as first row will be 0, 0, 1, 0, 1. Second row will be 0, 2, 0, minus 3, minus 3, 0. And third is 1, 1, minus 2, 0, minus 1. And last row is 0, 0, then you'll get 0, R4 minus R1 I said na, 0, 1, 0. Correct. So I have already used the R1 as a pivot row. Okay, so I'm not going to use it further, and even I can modify my equations here. R4 tends to, but there is no this one, so we don't need that. Now this equation, when converted to this row, when converted to equation, I am getting x4 as 0. Correct na? x4 is 0. And I got the first equation, x3 plus x5 as 0. x3 plus x5 as 0. Second, I got 2x2 minus 3x4 equal to 0. 2x2 minus 3x4 equal to 0. Okay. And then one more equation will be taken from here. But we did one thing wrong here. What is that wrong? Is this R4, when you are taking R1 as a pivot row, no? This R1 pivot row should be implemented to even R2 also. Even though it is not getting reduced, you have to reduce it to the R2 also. So what we will get here is, you just see that because conversion is not giving you the correct value. 0, 0, 1, 0, 1. Okay, second row should be, again you have to convert 0, 0, whatever it is, R2 minus R1 you do. R2 minus R1 is 2, minus 1, minus 3. So this is your correct equation, minus 1. And rest all will be same. So your equation should be, the second equation from here it should be written. It should be 2x1, sorry, 2x2 minus x3 minus 3x4 minus x5 equal to 0. And the other two equations also. Okay. So other two equations are x4 is equal to 0 I got, and one more equation is pending, that x1 plus next is x1 plus x2 minus x3 minus x5, that is equal to 0. So I have x4 0, I can make use of that, but now I can see I have three equations, okay, and four unknowns, x1, x2, x3, x5. What are the equations I have? This is my equation. Okay, this is my equation and this is my equations. So x4 you put as 0. Three equations, and is something wrong in this? Okay, let me check this. I can't check here because it is taking time. Why they have given when the rank is, but I'll just check my transformations and let you know.
Even
because it is giving
rank
only.
like that only.
Huh?
Ma'am. Rank I'm not getting as a parametric and all.
Parametric is how much?
No,
One
ma'am, not getting
parametric.
parametric only, ma'am. Even
Not parametric. No, it will come parametric. It is parametric solution because you have 5 unknowns and 4 equation, na? So parametric to come. It will come.
yes,
Ma'am, I
Why
am
you
getting
are
one
not getting parametric solution?
I made a mistake, ma'am. I just checked it now.
Ah, the parametric will come. See, who is this?
Harshavardhan.
Harsha, parametric will come. Reason you, because already you have less number of equations and more unknowns are there. Somebody has a doubt also. Somebody raised the hand.
No, ma'am, it was raised from the first.
No, one person, Charan. Charan has raised the hand. Charan? Only Charan is there. Okay. Okay. So Harshavardhan, you got it. Now, why we are telling that we will have a parametric solution. Now, what I need
Yes,
to
ma'am.
check here, whether I am making here any mistake in transformation or something wrong with the question only, because it is showing 2 parametric. No, you see that x2 also they have assumed and x5 also they have assumed, but we have 1, 2, and 3 equations and 4 unknowns.
I'm
So
getting one
if I
parameter.
take,
I am getting one parameter.
no, one parametric also, how will you get? You see, if I am taking x5 is equal to, see, I am taking x5 is equal to t, correct? Piyush. So I will get x3 as minus t.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, first relation will give that x3 is equal to minus t. x4 already you have a 0.
X2 is also coming 0, ma'am.
That is what we need to check. Now, if I put x3 and x5 in the equations, we will have 2 equations. x2 will not come as 0. Minus x3 plus x5. Minus x3 and minus x5. Yeah, it is coming as 0. x2 is coming as 0. And x1 will be minus, just make a substitution. So it will be coming in the terms of t. So we'll identify whether here only the mistakes are done or we are doing any mistake. Anyways, based on our solution, whatever I got, now Piyush is going to tell me what is x1 here, Piyush.
Minus t.
Minus?
T.
Minus t. So what is x2 now? 0.
0.
According to what we have solved. And x3 is?
Minus t.
x3 is minus t. x4 is?
0.
0. x4 is 0 and x5 is
T.
t. Okay, now for this capital X, I can write the solution space. This is my solution space, which represents the set of all possibilities. Minus t, 0, minus t, 0, and t. Now, for this, you take t outside. T you have taken outside, correct? It is going to be minus 1, 0, minus 1, 0, and 1. Okay, so when this is being multiplied, you'll get here t, and see how many linearly independent and how many linearly dependent you have a vectors in the solution space. You just understand what X is actually defining. X is defining the set of all possible values where t can take any value. You take any value for t and you check whether your system of equations are satisfied or not. Okay, so if you will take 0, 0, it is being satisfying. If you take suppose t is equal to minus 1, let us take t is equal to, we will be able to check our equations. T is equal to minus 1. So if I take t is equal to -1, x1 and x3 will be 1, x5 will be -1. x1 and x3 will be 1, x5 is -1. So last equation is satisfied. First equation, x1 and x3 is -1. x1 is 1. So 2. x3 is -1. So 2 minus 1 is 1. x2 is 0 and x5 is 1. So is it satisfying? First equation for t equal to -1. Put t equal to -1 means x1 is what? 1. x3 is 1. x1 is 1, 2. x3 is 1, -1. And x5 is -1.
-1.
Is it satisfying?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
x1 is put -t only. -t. No, it is not satisfying. This is also I put -t, na? So this will become plus t. This will become -2t. This will become plus t. And this is already t. Yeah, it is satisfying. Correct. Put this only and check whether it is satisfying or not. If we have not made any mistakes in the terms of t also, it should satisfy all the equations. Already this fourth equation we have checked. It is satisfying because x4 is 0. Here also x4 is 0. So just make a substitution and check x2 is also 0. Here x2 is 0. Just check whether it is satisfying or not. So if it is satisfying, it means that capital X represents the set of all values of t, where t can take any value. The set system will be satisfied. So X represents the solution space. Now, next question is you have to find out the basis for solution space. It means I have to find out the basis in the sense that I need to find out a set of a vector which will span and which will be linearly independent. So if you are talking about only the linearly independent, I have only one vector which is nothing but -1, 0, okay, -1, and then I have 0 and then I have 1. Only one vector is there which is representing all the other vectors are the linear combination of this vector only, because you have written this into t. So this single vector will represent a basis for this solution space, whatever you have, whatever the system of equation you have. So this is a basis and dimension is 1 because you have only one vector in a basis, which will be the which will help you to get the linear combinations of all other vectors, or all other vectors can be represented as a linear combination of this vector. So it is a basis for the given system equation. Is this understood? I hope this is clear. You can see here they have given the similar way, but they have proceeded with -s, -t, s -t, 0t. So we have to check. I will check and then I will confirm in this next class. Here the question says that this is also a very important result. If V is an n-dimensional vector space and if S is a set in V with exactly n vectors, S has n vectors. Okay, S has n vectors. S has n vectors. Okay, then and V also is n-dimensional. It means that its basis has n vectors. Okay, then S is a basis for V if either S will span V or S is a linearly independent. So in if any of these conditions are satisfied, then you can say that S will be a basis. Either S will span V or S is a linearly independent. So the condition is S is a set in V with exactly n vectors. It can be the basis if either S will span V or it is a linearly independent. Okay. This is something which you have to do by the inspection. These are the questions you have to take. Okay. Rest all results only we'll do in the next class. These are the questions. Please try. Today I will post. So to 5.4.6 and 5.4.5 you leave. I will discuss in the next class also that result. And along with that, there are few questions for which solutions are written. And results are also given, why we are taking and which results we are taking to prove that. Go through all these. No other new result, I think. Yeah, so this is all the exercise. Please. Yeah, so different spaces are taken. It is R3 is taken, P3 is taken, M2 is taken. So please try all questions. And if you have any doubt, you can ask me. For the result, what I will suggest you is that some of the results we will discuss in the next class, which I finished quickly here. I will discuss in the next class. Okay. So these slides I will post today. And complete all the questions till 5.4. Some solutions are given, some solutions you try. Any doubt if you have, you can ask me.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Tell me.
Ma'am, can you please repeat the portions for the quiz one once again?
Quiz 1 is the basics what we have. Along with that, you have 5.1 and 5.2.
Okay.
And and for the test, you have 5.1 to 5.4.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.